It's the weekend. It's Mailbag, the 777 of Everton podcasts. I'm joined this week by Foxy and Paul, and hopefully Warren will be along soon, but we'll see. Lads, we will get straight into it as ever. The new kit launched this week. What does anyone think about it? Does anyone care? Me and Dave did quite a lengthy podcast on it, to be honest. So
I don't care for the fact that I usually like the kits, and then it's usually like the worst people shout loudest, don't they? And everyone's got their own opinion, but everyone hates the kit, right? Because it's the first thing they can comment on. It seems. Then once the first game's kicked off, nobody cares. They don't go back to it and go, "I still hate that kit." No one mentions it. So yeah, that's why I don't care in that way. And I think it's all right, except for the fact that Everton's fallen off it.
Yeah, that's my favourite thing about it.
Yeah.
To take the badge off, and it's quite nice, I think.
There you go.
It's
got yourself a nice blue shirt.
Yeah. Take the state logo off and it'll be even better. But
oh god, yeah. The good thing about that is though, I think it's a little bit smaller this season. It looks it.
Okay.
It doesn't look quite as garish, let's say.
Yeah.
But
go on, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that might have just been on the Drizz's kit because it was focused on because the badge fell off.
So bad that wasn't it? The badge just flapping off in the wind.
I didn't even watch the game. I just couldn't. Yeah, I wasn't like.
No, but we were over at the Denby for this Pat Nevin thing, and it was just on.
Oh so yeah.
So once he'd finished, we just watched it. It didn't look great, but you know what a comeback by the Toffees.
Yeah,
I believe no by Chimity on his own because the other didn't fancy it, did they?
No.
But I believe I still haven't even seen them. But I logged onto the website right at like 5 to 4. And then I logged in, obviously a season ticket holder, and it said, buy the game for £9. And I'm like, you clearly see to get that.
You get.
Yeah, but we probably know that that's just for my account because they
I think so.
Oh, man. And you just can't trust that stream either, can you?
No, I know.
You know, we're all fellas of a certain age. There are many streams we can't trust. But,
yes.
you know,
the worst. Oh, just quickly on that, my controversial opinion then, which is perfect for Mailbag, why did we start televising pre-season friendlies? Because we know that they're all going to be as rusty as hell. And Everton players are usually as rusty as hell till about the 8th game of the season proper anyway.
I think it's because they're like, you know, you can be sure that like people won't go overboard on social media about it. They know they'll get a level-headed response to a bad performance.
Absolutely what I thought, yeah.
So on the new kit launch, Ben has asked, what's the strangest Everton kit? So he's put a picture of the what was it, 2014, 15? The white shirt with the long short sleeves. So the black and gold Nike one had really weirdly long sleeves. And there was a white version, which was an absolute belt of a top, but also had weirdly long sleeves. Foxy, have you got any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I had to look these up because my memory for anything is pretty appalling. And Les, I'm conscious if I say anything anti-Umbro, you'll probably immediately cut me off.
It's okay. Do you know what? They're not perfect.
Okay. So I've got a few I thought were quite weird at the time. So this is one I think of Scott Gemmell. Maybe it wasn't Scott Gemmell, but it's the one with the velvet one-to-one bit in the middle. And then like the white trim down the sides, but just having a velvet. Yeah, I think so, but just with a velvet one-to-one, which just got all the bubbly stuff.
So I've still got a couple of those kits, and when you fold them up, you just cannot fold the one-to-one bit. It's like a cereal packet.
I kind of think as professional footballers, whatever Everton had version of professional footballers back then, to run about this heavy, sweaty, fueled thing in the middle of your chest, that must have been ridiculous for them.
Yeah.
You like the complaint about the Villa kit last year from Castor, and it's like a bit sweaty, but that was ridiculous for proper athletes to wear.
It was really weird, wasn't it? It's like really velvety.
Yeah.
Maybe if you just bored in the game, you could just stand there, stroking. Feel nice. Like
maybe that was our problem. Then there's a couple of weird ones, like the pink one. I'm looking at it now. I think it's but pink that had like a blue slash.
It was like a wave, like a navy blue. Yeah, that reminds me of Tim Cahill for some reason.
Yeah, it's about that time, but weird kids.
I've got that too. It is a strange top though.
Yeah,
I think. You got any more, or
that's it for me? No. I'm done.
no Umbro ones in there, Puma and Lecoq.
Yeah, well, I went safe.
Fair enough. Paul?
I don't remember there being any weird Everton kits. I'd like to sort of be totally hypocritical against me saying before, why does anyone go about the kits? Everyone hates it. I just don't. Yeah.
So weird one for me, I think, then was the Lecoq, like when they sort of redesigned the 85 kit with the had the
Pienaar and
bib down there and the sports bra. That one.
Yeah.
It made like, you know, Louis Sahar was a well-built man, but it made him look like he had man boobs. It was a
Yeah.
really weird fit.
But you do associate Lou Sahar with that kid, don't you? That's
Yeah,
the first
completely.
person I thought of when you said it.
Yeah,
It's like, that's a Lou
100%. You
Sahar.
know, if you can make an athlete like him look terrible, really
I'm
weird
all
fit.
for it personally. I think that's good.
What's that? Yeah.
Just make your players look terrible.
Just everyone looks shit in it.
Yeah.
It's a great leveler. Yeah,
I think
fair
so.
enough. Another weird thing as well. I've just thought of. Do you remember? I mean, it's slightly before our time, but when they had green on the badge. So I think this was early 80s, probably about 82. There was like a green trim on the badge. I think it was an Umbro kit. I think it was only for one season, but it's like we've never had green before or since.
That's
I
weird.
don't know where it came from. It looked quite nice, but just a little bit of an odd adornment. I don't know. Gary has asked, will this club ever be normal for a long period of time?
no.
No.
Next.
I was thinking, like, just to sort of, yeah. I mean, it is a really simple one-word answer, isn't it? I
Yeah.
was thinking just to elaborate on this a little bit. What is the longest period of time that we've been normal?
Yeah. But then what is normal for us?
Well,
Not
well,
normal for us is probably not normal for other people. I
I suppose, yeah. If you look, if we're just like an abnormal club, this has been a sustained period of normality for us.
yeah, it's all relative.
Yeah. What's
Surely
your reckon, Paul?
under Moyes, I think when he sort of like was able to like when the sixth, fifth finishes when it was like decent, but then still going into Europe and getting caned by someone you've never heard of.
But even then, we did go through it. Oh, well, yeah, there was that. But yeah, that was very normal for Everton being shit in Europe.
I know, yeah.
But even then, there were like little periods where, like, for 2 years, we didn't sign a striker and stuff like that, which is just weird. Oh, we didn't.
Yeah.
We don't think we had a striker for 2 years or something, did we? When we sold, what's his name? The lad who scored against Chelsea, that one where he ran the length of the pitch.
Beckford.
Yeah, Beckford. When we sold him, I don't think we had a proper striker for about 2 years after that. And I think there was a period where we didn't sign a player on an actual contract that wasn't a loan for like 2 years.
Think about it. Steve Watson up front for the best part of 18 months and Joe McMahon on the bench. So I suppose you could say that was his.
Yeah. I mean, the mid-80s definitely weren't normal. That was an abnormality.
Yep.
Well,
I don't know. I suppose the period after that of us just being all right. But then that was a really quick demise, wasn't it? We were all right for about 3 years and then completely shit and nearly got relegated 7 years after winning the title. So it's like,
I think that if you were to, I mean, excuse me, and I'm being a little bit biased here as well, because obviously we know more about our club than the others, and we unfortunately got those, like, less than a mile across Stanley Park. I think Everton were one of the sort of worst hit for the European ban. They just never recovered because Kendall went. And then obviously Harvey was there and did obviously the best job he could. You had a striker who came in and scored 40 goals in a season and was gone immediately. And then, you sort of, other players that come in with regards, you've got Wayne Clark and Mike Newell and blah, 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 blah. And then you get to the Cotty period as well, who was obviously a goal scorer. Excuse me. But I think that nowadays, for example, if there was a blanket European ban for English clubs, do you think the Premier League would suffer for that entire time? Because Sky would probably pay still the same amount of money because it's not affecting Champions League rights and they don't have them anymore.
yeah.
But lots of the money that wasn't involved in the moment, the players were then going abroad, and you think of the, the iconic sides like Barcelona and stuff, and then in Real Madrid, you had Hughes going to Bayern Munich and stuff, and you know what I mean? It's like you look at these like periods of time, and I think Everton have been worst hit by it because they didn't also build up the infrastructure of the club for the income and the hospitality and things. These things that, yes, they were one of the clubs that were at the forefront of the Premier League deal with regard to Sky, but then they just like sort of they never up, did they at all? And
yeah, that's what always
that's
what always amazes me, and it's sort of a symbol of how badly the club has always been run. The Philip Carter was at the forefront of creating the Premier League. Yeah, his club were the least prepared for it coming in. Because if you look at where Man United were in comparison to Everton when the Premier League started, they were miles behind, absolute miles behind Everton.
And Everton had 9. They've now got 20, and Everton are still 9.
Exactly, they were miles behind. And I think also, if you look at that period, it was more sort of lack of imagination from the board, and I'm talking about like getting Kendall in the second time. So getting Colin Harvey in seemed like the natural choice. But I think, it's come out since, and, in what happened with the team where there was a big split between the two groups of players, the old players and the new players. He was just a coach, really. He wasn't a manager. So he couldn't really get a handle on that. So when the club then went back to Howard Kendall, it was just like a regressive step, wasn't it? Because if you've got that sort of schism in your dressing room, and then you get the manager in who was there before, he's clearly going to side with the players he was with previously, who at that point were really getting old. And then the whole thing just sort of fell apart, didn't it? To the point where we ended up getting Mike Walker, and then everything happened after that. So it's always, I think what is, exactly, I think what is normal for Everton is just to be, a bit shit and a lack of imagination.
Yeah. I was just going to say, where do you reckon we'd be if the Albert Dock Stadium happened, the Kingstar? Was that back in the early 2000s?
That was 2006.
It should have been done, though. It should have been finished for 2006, I think.
Yeah, so it was around 2002, wasn't it? It was all, the planning was there.
Because that would have been a game changer in revenue. Like you're talking about the Sky 6 and whatever, Premier League. If we got that and the revenue associated with that.
And also, it's like, obviously you can't say exactly what would have happened, but you do feel like the City's investors would at least have looked at Everton, before totally. City. Because again, Everton were a much better proposition than Man City at this point. So it could have been all
for the Beto transfer fee. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it isn't it? That really does put it in perspective.
All for 30 million.
Right, I don't want to say that I am responsible for the hot weather, but I am responsible for the hot weather. So my hot topic was, when does summer start?
Yesterday, and also finished yesterday, because it's going to be... I don't want to be like the bearer of bad news, because I'm fuming. I've been sitting in the kitchen working all week, not benefiting from any of this, as you can see from my, Nosferatu face.
I was going to say pallor.
What's that from?
No, as you can see from your pallor.
Oh, sorry. I am not with it this morning, as you can see.
It is Saturday morning. It is unfair to record this on a Saturday morning, to be honest.
Listen, I woke up at 5:30, right? And I've been waking up at like 5:30 the last couple of days for the cricket, for the golf. I mean, well, that's how tired I've been. I've been waking up for the cricket. It doesn't start till 11. I think what's happened today? It's the hangover of nothing. But I'm going to have a drink today, like a big drink at my mates and stuff. But I don't drink through the week, and I still haven't had an alcoholic drink in this house since I've been here, and that's only since May. And I didn't have an alcoholic drink when I moved into the other place in Liverpool. So I don't know what my... It's definitely just early onset of dementia, self-diagnosed, of course, and not willing, wanting to cause offence to anybody who, that affects and stuff, but I'm genuinely concerned about it. So when I say things and you go, that's why.
I mean, I'm always repeating myself as well. I'm always repeating myself.
Sorry. I just wanted to say before let's press record, him and Foxy had a good chuckle at him. He was saying you're on mute, and I was going, I'm not. And he's going, you're on mute. And it only the penny dropped, thinking, how can you hear me?
I mean, with the three of us, this has got the potential to just be like dad joke central, hasn't it? Which no one. No, yeah, no one really gets through that.
That's what I'm here for.
Foxy, when does summer start? The reason I thought of this was because the Flying Ants are out, and I think it was Flying Ant Day, wasn't it?
That was mad. Let's go Flying Ants. Came back from work on Thursday. Was it Flying Ant Day Thursday? Is that the official, the Saint Day of Flying Ants? So my wife had gone in the house like 20 minutes before me, no flying ants. I went in there 20 minutes after and just attacked. There'd been like an ant nest where the door is underneath the stone or something, and there are hundreds of them. Like
Yeah.
crazy.
Weird. I don't
Was
even
that a
know
national thing? I didn't know it's a national day for flying ants.
there is a flying ant day every year. I don't think it's nationally recognised,
Okay.
but there is definitely a flying ant day.
It's by the ants. I thought you were doing an impression of Michael Caine in there, Zulu. Then there's thousands.
But in terms of summer, what I find odd, particularly football related, is the football season starts in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But it feels
Terrifying.
like pre-season started quite late. I think generally there's a longer gap between pre-season starting and the football starting, or is that just not true?
Yeah, I think so because the Euros, wasn't it?
Was that why? They're not
Yeah.
being lazy.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But then we're talking about cricket before. Like the first test only started a week and a half ago, and that feels really late. So it feels I kind of mark summer starting by particular sporting events.
Yeah.
And because football's not really a summer activity, like the Euros, that's part of spring in my mind. And then the cricket's part of summer. So we've not really had, I don't know, it's been a really late start.
Surely it's the summer event, isn't it? And it's happened.
Yeah, I don't watch tennis.
I know, but yeah, I know. But I mean,
I don't really class that as a sport either, to be honest. It's just like
I see quite an irrational sort of hatred there for tennis.
Yeah, it's a bit dull.
He's making up for Warren not being with irrational hatreds, but I don't. I find Warren's hatreds rational, which is why I put something up. Yeah.
Well, I am hoping Warren joins us because I want to show him that tweet you did.
He's already replied to it, thankfully.
Oh, he has, hasn't he? But anyway, I just want to see his face when I mention Stephen Mulhern. Really.
He's not going to come on. Maybe that's why he's not. Oh, very quickly on that. My mate said to me yesterday, he sent me like a meme saying, remember Clippy from Clip Art? Or not,
yeah.
Thing from Microsoft Word. And it was like a toilet roll holder or something like that. And it says, this is what he's doing now. Because he jumped off. And I was like, and this was just after I'd sent me mate that Stephen Mulhern. Oh no, he'd sent the Stephen Mulhern thing to me, sorry. Then he sent the clip art thing. And he said, like, how much, which is more of an expletive, shall we say, basically. A very, very offensive word.
Ah, right, okay. I think another one you mean.
What? I think that's quite a good question. You would probably think I would go, clearly Stephen Mulhern, because he's like a real person. But I could just turn the telly over if he's ever been on. I don't even really watch the telly except for live sport, or I've just finished Shogun on Disney, which is brilliant, like as well. And I didn't think it was my type of thing. I was on Microsoft Word all the time, and Clippy would go, "It looks like you're writing a letter," and I was like, "Yes." If you don't get off my screen, I will straighten you and put you in the bin. Or back in the pile with the rest of your little mates in that little stupid rectangle thing that looked like with your pens and scissors.
He was a busy little fucker, wasn't
he? 100%. And yeah. I'm thinking now see, if he was nice to people, and I know you could just exit off, but you know me, I just have to be dead dramatic, don't I? So I would make a big song and dance of it, and then it looks like you're writing a CV. Yeah, it's yours for you to get a different job from Microsoft.
Do you know what Clippy is? He's basically Jamie Redknapp doing punditry. Just pops up, states the obvious, and gets off.
He's not Beckham. Beckham seems to be in every single advert now. He's like Bradley Walsh is to TV.
This David Beckham and Thierry Henry advert about the crisps. Why doesn't he just go to the shop? Why is Thierry Henry going around to people's houses going, got any crisps? Just go to the shop.
I thought you said the Crips, the LA gangsters.
That'd be good.
The Smith's Crisp Bloods version.
just on summer, Liam said, let's say March purely as that's when the Goodison Dars break their shorts out of hibernation. First sunny day, lad. Shorts are on.
Yeah.
Tom done this. The fella who sits next to us, Gary, Tom said at the beginning of the season, I'm going to wear my shorts at every game of the season, right? And he went, I bet you don't. I'll bet you 50 quid that you don't, right? Like one of the home games in September, he had like jeans on. And Gary was like, you owe me 50 quid, Tom. Didn't even get past 4 weeks. What a lame effort that was.
That is pretty. It can't even be cold in September. Question from Liam then. Good one, this. Pienaar or Arteta?
I
Pienaar for
reckon,
me.
yeah, because it comes with Baines.
Oh,
True.
They're
Yeah.
a couple, so
Well,
Pienaar and Baines.
I was going to say that, and also it was always going to be Pienaar over Arteta for Les because he doesn't like Lego heads, do you?
No. If there's one thing I'd like to do, I'd just like to go up to Arteta and just turn his hair and walk off.
And then when you walk off, you can go, everything is awesome, except for your hair.
We all saying Pienaar then.
Yeah.
I love Pienaar. The fact he was at the club twice as well, it states
And did well twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one of the very few to do that at any club, not just at us. Yeah, but yeah, as far
Gary. Oh, sorry, go on.
no, I was going to say he comes with Baines, so yeah, and Baines
Yeah.
is my favourite Premier League player. Very closely followed by Pickford now.
Yeah, I was talking yesterday. Apparently, there was like an Everton Legends. I was talking to Matt yesterday. There was an Everton Legends thing at the Empire around the turn of the year, I think.
Yeah.
And he said they were asked the question like, what position would you replace at Everton? And none of them rate Pickford. He said Southall really doesn't rate Pickford. And they were all saying goalkeeper, none of them rate Pickford, which I
That's
find
nuts.
dead weird.
That's nuts.
Well,
No. And it gave me a little bit of a dislike of the 85 team, to be honest.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Very, very strange.
Yeah.
Really odd.
Mm.
Gary, oh yeah, did anyone watch it on the stream yesterday? Because Gary said, with it being pre-season and the first friendly, how long are we given before the stream starts to work in the Sligo game on Everton TV? Did it work? It was all right in the pub.
well, as I say, I logged on and it didn't even notice that I was a season ticket holder, so I just put the golf back on.
I watched the last 20 of it and it's fine. So I saw the Schmidt goals, didn't see anything else. I thought Harrison looked pretty good as well, but he was probably playing against a 17-year-old fullback. We just need to play against all 17-year-olds and we'll be fine.
A weird one here from Gary and Stuart, who have both asked the same question. With the upcoming documentary on Seamus Coleman, besides Jordan Pickford, that's the rule, what Everton players past and present would you like to see a documentary about? And Stuart asked, in the week the Seamus Coleman premieres, who from Everton's past would you like to see a documentary about? He says Southall, for all he did in football and the impact he has had since outside of the game.
So
Foxy.
what I like to see, it's like spin on it, but like a version of The Office, but the Everton running of Everton version of The Office for the last 8 years, just what's going on. That'd be amazing. Just to see kind of conflicting messages coming through with signing 5 number 10, signing Klassen and Rooney, the Headgate incident, all the stuff that's happened over the last 8, 9, whatever years. But through the eyes of the office team that are running it. So normal people in the office.
Yeah.
Their reaction to being told stuff and like, what? So I'm sure they're pretty normal people who are there kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That make everything tick over.
And like the press office and them.
Yeah, the whole thing, like commercial department, finance department, HR, press.
Seeing
them sat in Goodison Towers or Liver building, wherever they sit, and just their reaction to chaos. I think that'd be pretty cool.
That would be really good. They're just trying to do the day-to-day job and all this shit's just happening.
Particularly if you've got like, I've forgotten the guy's name in the office, the American, Steve Carroll. So you've got like him running it, that type of cat, that'd be good.
Who would that be at Everton, do you reckon? Go on, Paul, you've got the insight there.
No, I was going to say it'd be David Brent. Who will be David Brent? More so because he's more cringy, isn't he? And I'm not at liberty to discuss who would be able to play David Brent.
Or it would be Darren Griffiths.
It would, yeah. And I'm not at liberty to even like have an opinion on this.
Have I teed you up there, Paul? Sorry, have I teed you up for something unintentional?
No, absolutely not. No, have to encourage me, and it's not going to happen. It's basically, yeah. That'd be a great idea, I think, because having worked on that side of things, Foxy.
Okay.
You weren't so people, you know, when my mates knew I used to work there, they were saying like, "Oh, what gossip have you? Or can you tell us?" And I was like, "Nothing. We genuinely," and they never ever believed me. We were the last people to know, and I'm not even joking. And people who are at Everton still now, as like Les would say, Darren would agree with that because it was we wouldn't be honestly we would find out like towards the end of things and then do the interviews and stuff. Yes, Darren may know, and stuff like that. He has to know because to organise it, and Mark, who was there beforehand and stuff, and they would have to. But honestly, as people, just a normal, Carl Pilkington-esque person as I am, and I had hair at that point as well. But yeah, you just never were able to. There was nothing for you to tell. It was very easy not to give any secrets away because you didn't have any to keep. Honestly, you really didn't.
Just thinking, right, on Fox, like you say, the last 8 years and that, and Paul, you're saying people were in the sort of PR departments and that were the last to know. How chaotic must it have been? This is probably the most chaotic thing you can think of, when everyone is stealing themselves from Rafael Benitez becoming manager and dealing with the fallout of that, and then the guilty cigarettes and news drops. It must have been for fuck's sake, what's going on at this club? That must have been incredible.
It would be like Parks and Rec, though, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? Where someone would say something, and then something else would just oh my God, how am I going to deal with that? And then someone finds out the house is on fire or something so yeah, it's just going to take a long walk into the Mersey, bury myself under more.
Pretty much straight out the window. Paul, anyone you'd like to see a documentary about? Everton player, past or present?
You know what? Just because of the absolute hilarity of it, having to go at England and stuff, and because of how much of an absolute sort of beta of people he is, I'm trying not to swear here. I think I'm doing quite well. Is Morpay, and especially as he started the game yesterday.
How depressing was that?
Yeah, and I'm thinking he's probably got a Brentford shirt on underneath his everyone. Because he's that type of person, isn't he? Has he even changed his banner headline or profile picture, by the way, on Twitter? Because it was stuff. And then I saw someone, had put up an account had put up a tweet saying which of these bald managers will succeed more. And Dyche wasn't in it, right? And Morpay put up a video of Dyche saying it's going to be him. Oh my God, this is like Darth Vader joining the rebels, isn't it? So yeah, I think that would be hilarious.
That would be a shout. I think for me, bit of a weird one, this, but Peter Beagrie. Just because.
So you want to see when he crashed his bike into the hotel?
The motorbike through the plate glass window would be probably the end of it, where it's right, that's the big finale. But because of the character he was, and the pre-season tours they would have gone on at that point, it would have just been carnage everywhere. And I just think fly on the wall of all that would have been incredible.
Yeah.
And you know what? I can't get enough of seeing him beat a man and go back and beat him again, and go back and try and beat him again and get tackled. You can't see that too many times.
I think watching Jeremy Doku for Belgium in the Euros, he grew up watching only videos of people. The most frustrating player. Don't get me wrong, people have a go at Lukaku, right? But he was actually getting into the right positions across his defender and his marker to the near post, and Doku would cut back, and I'm just throw the remote. I'm not watching this anymore. I cannot do it. I mean, any of those players who would have played with Beagrie at that time, the way, and I mentioned this last time I was on, Southall doing the sit as post the Leeds game. It made me think that strikers might just walk off the pitch and say, "Do you know what? That's it. I'm finished. I can't be doing this." Because that would imagine how many steps a day you would be running when playing with Beagrie, because you make your run and then you go off, and then he checks back, you make your run again, and then he's gone back again, and then the ball goes back to the keeper, and just go.
he had a great cartwheel, didn't he? I think he made up for it.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
Flip after a goal. Mopé has changed from Brentford. It's now kind of Everton training top. But in the background, he's got 5 pictures of himself in a kind of Tarantino-esque style profile.
Oh, wow.
It's worth looking at.
I need to see, yeah, we need to see this.
He's some lunatic. All stuff I was laughing at when he's going, it's coming home. And then he was that guy from the television stuff laughing at him.
Got one from last week here. Gary, what's the one thing that annoys you, even though you do it yourself? His is parking where he can, Then when someone parks outside his house, he goes mad. I think mine's just moaning in general. I catch myself moaning about stuff and I just do my own head in with it.
Yeah, it's got to be mine. I was thinking this yesterday about Roy Keane, the way he goes on about, like, you know, do your job and all this. And then I'm thinking, he proper does my head in. And then I realise I do that probably more than he does. And I don't even get paid for it. So, yeah, I would say that. I would, yeah. Do you know when when I first met Les, right? And I thought he was like, you know, like all a big ray of sunshine. And then the more we've known, he's told me I'm not at all. He said, I probably moan and hate people more than you do.
Well, I was until I met you, to be honest.
Yeah. I was going to say, maybe it was my influence. Maybe you've turned it, and it's like an unconscious bias towards me. I don't know.
No, I've always been a miserable guy, really.
Yeah,
Foxy, anything you do?
No, I'm perfect.
Thought so.
When I'm watching Everton, so like watching England over the summer, just wasn't particularly bothered with the score. Particularly watching the kids, and I'm quite relaxed watching it, and the kids are getting uptight, and I'm like, doesn't matter, it's fine. But even watching the friendly for 20 minutes with the kids, and it's Everton friendly against Sligo, I was getting uptight with it, and the kids going. So I just completely contradict myself about watching football, being relaxed and not caring.
Yeah.
And I was saying to the kids, it's a friendly, it's pre-season, it doesn't matter. They might all be under 16s that we're playing, but it doesn't matter. But
yeah. And then you go and shut yourself in another room and bang your head against the wall. I know
I'm terrible. It just affects my mood way too much. It's ridiculous. I'd like to be better at that.
Yeah, but when you get to our age, you'll realise it really doesn't matter. I've lost my hair over it, and I just now look like a thumb with glasses and a beard. So that's what everyone does.
Just one from Mike last week as well. Not really sort of a question as a statement, really. The I hate England the most out scousing each other of Liverpool fans is tremendous. Does anything make you cringe more than scouse not English? I guess that's the question. Probably not for me.
There's loads of stuff that they do that makes me cringe.
Cringe me back out with that Paddy Pimblett video.
I didn't even watch it.
Oh my God.
I am getting better at directing myself away from things I know that I'm gonna, like, you know, I don't know, just become Michael Douglas in Falling Down. There's no point.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm any better than you, Les, in that way.
Sometimes no, I wish I could.
And like just go, oh, I can't be doing with this.
Does anyone get that slight bit of pleasure out of watching stuff that annoys you, though? Do you know what I mean? When you want to get a bit wound up by something.
No, do you know the other thing? The only thing I can compare it to is when I was talking about this, and I bring this up quite a bit because obviously let me fear the heights and stuff. But you know when you ever see these like free climbers who like climb up buildings in like rain or something like that, and I don't enjoy watching them, but it's just like my brain's going, you're not really afraid of heights. Oh my God, you are. I'm going to make you arm sweat now to make you, and then I'm like looking down, and then I have to, but that's the only thing that I seem to, like, I don't like watching, you know, if there's a bad injury in like any sports, by the way. So even though I dislike Conor McGregor for all that he is and the type of person he is, when he broke his leg, I'm not going to watch it. I don't like those types of things. It just doesn't. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just a walking hypocrisy, though. So I've probably loads of things that I say it.
Just thinking, Paul, on the fear of heights, just take the wise word from Lahane. It's not the fall, it's the landing. Just think about that.
Yeah, but the fall gives me a heart attack, so I don't feel a landing.
Probably the best way, to be honest.
Depends how high it is, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Foxy, anything make you cringe more than Scouse not English?
It's not really answering the question, but I'll give an answer anyway. So I live in the Midlands, and my next door neighbour's got a season ticket on the cup, and I get so much stick about how they never leave the game early. They never leave the game early, regardless of the result. Liverpool might be drawing at home. They'll stay to the end, stay to the end. Best fans in the world, stay to the end. The Derby game. So I was in the park end, the other side to where you normally sit, Les. Yeah. And I think the last 10 minutes, I mainly just enjoyed watching them go early. And I'm sending pictures to my mate. I go, oh, look, it's going. They're going, can you see them walking out? So from a hypocrisy thing, he winds me up with that because I completely get going early. Like, why would you say if you don't have to? So I'm fine with that. But when they kind of play it up so much, best fans, and an opportunity to give it back a bit, I don't know if that's being a hypocrite or just enjoy myself.
No,
Either way, it was quite good fun.
Do you know what? You got to take those small wins alongside the big
Yeah.
ones.
But lads, I do have a cringeworthy thing now. Have you seen this video yesterday? I don't know if it was yesterday, but I've seen it last night of Liz Truss in this Pennsylvania Liberty Bell Tower thing.
No.
Oh my God, mate. Oh my God.
Is she a real person, by the way? Is
I
she just a
don't-
caricature or a parody? So I can't work out if that's a genuine human or.
Thing with politicians like that, I've always thought is, actually, you know, if you were someone like, say we were growing up in the 80s, 90s or something, and you were like a, you know, someone mad, drunk or something or whatever, and they're walking around the streets like talking about mad stuff, and you're thinking, that's weird. You just ignore them. In this country, vote them into power.
Yeah.
That's the mad thing. Because people are mad and they will come out with random stuff. But you just ignore them. We vote for them in this country and give them like more opportunity to go on and create their own mad news channels and then say, I don't know, let's start nailing people to pieces of wood for, you know, for
but
I've just seen that this morning, that's why I said.
But genuinely, if Liz Truss came out to be Sacha Baron Cohen as a deep fake for a number of years, I would not be that surprised. That'd be one of the least surprising things that's happened this year.
It would make more sense.
It would.
Wouldn't it? It really would. I think, do you know what it is? They've got a private education and people in this country, they just love their betters. That's all it is. Love the taste of boot leather. Anyway, we won't go off on a tangent on that. We'll pick it up with something nice and cheery. TWS has asked, what was your favourite primary school assembly song? Foxy?
All Things Bright and Beautiful.
Oh, okay. I thought you
and I'm done. I have nothing else to say.
It is a banger, to be fair. Autumn Days for me.
I don't know that one. Do you want to sing it?
No. That's a good one, though. Look it up. It'll be on YouTube.
I asked him when I saw that question, has he been reading Limmy's book? You know Limmy, obviously, don't you?
Yeah.
So I listened to his audiobook in about 3 days the other day, and it's not funny. Mostly, it's like 80% of him being an alcoholic and stuff, and coming out with
Is it a bit bleak?
But some of it is a little bit funny. But yeah, some of it is like a really bad, like it's warts and all. But he talks about a song at the very beginning of the book where his teacher was singing this something like a doll or something, and he said it was like it was almost like the what's the racist doll thing, the
gollywog thing.
Yeah, and he said it sounded a bit like that, and I was thinking, is she being racist with this? But the doll was white and stuff, and then he was like, I knew the fit, and he said I got embarrassed when I wasn't singing all the words because I didn't know all the words. And then he said about 25 or 30 years later, I was having a pint somewhere, and this fella who I used to work with, who I was working with, he came for a pint and stuff, and he was like humming the tune, and I asked him, is that like that song about the doll? And he went, yeah. And he was like, he didn't go to school with me. And I was like, how did he know that? Turns out this teacher was not, it was just a music teacher that travelled around all school. Go around Glasgow area, right? Teaching this song to people. And they're like, you know, walking around like sing 30 years later.
Jesus.
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Foxy, we're going to finish on yours. Do you want to ask it?
What was it?
Do you remember it?
Conspiracy. Yeah, okay. What's your biggest or favorite conspiracy theory? Is that right?
Yeah, that's the one. Paul, I'll let you rip on this if you want. I mean, I've got a recent one. If you want to have a little think. So mine is the Southgate Brantwaite thing.
Okay.
It's not a massive conspiracy theory, but I am convinced he didn't take Brantwaite to the Euros because he thought he was lining himself up for the Man United job. He thought if he doesn't go, this transfer will get wrapped up before the Euros finishes. I'll get back. I'll have him as a centre-back. Southgate was feathering his nest.
That's a lot of moving parts there, yeah.
Similar one in sort of Everton-wise is I'm convinced Howard Kendall sold Gary Lineker to Barcelona because he thought he was getting the Barcelona job. And then Barcelona kept Terry Venables on. I'm convinced that's why he sold him.
In his book, he doesn't. He said he spoke to them, didn't he? But he doesn't allude to the fact that that could have been the case, does he? That's an interesting one, that, yeah?
Yeah, I'm convinced that's true.
Don't know anything about the Branthwaite Southgate thing. I know that Southgate was linked with United, but I didn't think that Ten Hag was going to be given the bullet because he won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And they're a weird club. And Southgate would suit them down to the ground, but Branthwaite wouldn't. I've just I wrote interviews. I'm not going to name drop it yet, but the two main lead actors who were in Fly Me to the Moon, you know, the new film that's out. And that is basically it's about a faking the moon landing, isn't it? But obviously
That's a belter. That is a good one.
6% of Americans in a recent poll apparently still believe that the moon landing was faked. I've actually had a conversation in the Crown pub with a fella who is unbelievable flat earther, right? And I just let him, and I know this is hard to believe, but I actually let him speak for about 15 minutes and was just nodding. I didn't even try and cut in. And I said, and then the first thing I said is, if you believe the earth is flat, right, why are there different hemispheres? Where does the sun go? So if the earth goes around the sun, if it's flat, where does it? What
if everything's flat? I know. That's the thing, though. Like conspiracy theories, it used to just be like some oddball, some cosmic down the pub who no one would listen to. But now it's platformed everywhere, and it gains traction. Just as you say, Paul, not to necessarily say that that's what people believe, but to get people on side to believe other stuff.
It's a gateway thing, isn't
it? Foxy, we'll finish off on yours. What's your favourite conspiracy theory?
My favourite one. So the reason for the question was kind of like the Trump stuff going on at the moment. So like the event that happened with the shooting and all the kind of background to that, how that occurred, the person on the roof, the Secret Service taking him out. But then you kind of go through this week, and now Trump is looking angelic, or he has a spiritual connection, and they're showing pictures of him looking heavenly, and he's in his whatever conference looking upwards and associating, I don't know what I can say, but that type of person with being kind of godly at the same time. So that's where the question came from. If I completely done this down though, my favourite conspiracy is that Dyche's football was boring. Because actually, I don't think it's that bad.
Do you know what? I agree. It's not that bad. And do you know what? If we went, to be honest, that's the main thing. Right. On that bombshell, that Foxy is the biggest fan of dice ball ever. We will leave it for this week's mailbag. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. Thanks to Foxy. Thanks to Paul. Hope Warren's okay. He's not too hungover. We'll catch you next time on Mailbag.